Thank you. So now it is my honor to be a bridge towards those people we were talking about, startups in the hydrogen sector. And now I reveal what H2 Hub is doing, where I'm coming from. H2 Hub is Europe's leading open innovation platform along the whole hydrogen value chain. We collaborate as a company and project with the brightest entrepreneurs, with companies and investors to around the globe, by the way, not only in Germany, to contribute to the common net zero goal. We have a great network of experts, of companies, of scientists that work with us, and we are focusing on supporting European hydrogen startups. Why European? The sheer number of hydrogen startups is quite small. When we are looking at Germany, there might be a number of 70 to 80 startups realistic. In Europe, it's about 600 startups, even including startups that had been startups like the German Sunfire, Enapter, or HH2E. So it's a small number. And to make the innovative capacity and innovative power available also to the German companies, to German partners, we are dealing with European startups, not to attract them here or lure them here by anything, but to offer the really interesting German market also to European startups, and on the other way around, opening European markets for German startups, which is also very important because the market, as Mr. Mansmann said, will not only be in Germany, but in Europe. So this is what H2 Hub is doing. And maybe a last question you might have, what can startups, these small companies, do when it gets to this really gigawatt, really big business? And one of the answers is that surveys say that by 2025, more than 44% of all the innovation in corporates come from collaboration with startups. So corporates not only focus on R&D and their own stuff, but a growing number of corporates is working together with startups, and we think this is a very good idea. But I don't want to talk about H2 Hub. If you want to know more, we have a booth together with all the 6 startups that I would like to invite to the stage now. And the first will be Atmen. It's a startup by French founders based in Munich. They are a digital startup that's poised to revolutionize the sustainable energy landscape. The team of Atmen, formerly known as Point 12, has already completed both H2 Hub programs, the bootcamp and the sprint, and Flore is winner of last year's Hydroverse Award from our largest event, the Hydroverse Convention in Essen. Their innovative technology simplifies and accelerates carbon intensity certification for EU industrial producers, and no one is fitter to explain this than the founder itself. Flore, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Flore de Durfort. I am CEO and co-founder of Atmen. Think about it. Certified green will distinguish winners from losers in the hydrogen space. Why? Because unless molecules are certified green, producers won't be able to justify green premiums. Unless supply chains are compliant with regulatory frameworks, these won't be eligible for subsidy schemes. Think EU Hydrogen Bank, carbon contracts for difference. And unless certification workflows are on top of regulatory change, these certification schemes, these companies, unless molecules are attached to their verified and exact carbon footprint, these won't be tradable internationally. Yet, as we speak, certification is a massive pain. As we speak, this is reliant on manual, tedious processes, which cannot scale to the extent required by increasingly tight regulation. One TÜV guy coming to a site once per year versus hundreds of thousands of data points to be collected and verified. This cannot work. What are options today for producers? A, the do-it-yourself option on the North Face. Highly time-consuming, highly energy-consuming, highly costly of reaching out individually to each certification schemes and verifiers and building the right IT infrastructure that scales and has to be maintained. This cannot work. Second option, the good old Big Four path. Reach out to big consultancies and spend not only large amounts of money, but also risk losing business critical knowledge to third parties. There must be a better path, a path where you're confident that your certification workflows are on top of regulatory change, where your supply chains are optimized for sustainability even before these are operational, and where your certification and compliance solutions are actually embedded in your operations. So we built Atmen to be your digital green certification expert. Atmen is the SaaS solution that enables hydrogen and e-fuels producers to easily, continuously certify their production as green. Our promise is a 90% time savings in the process. You need to think of us as this technology layer on top of your operational supply chain that manages low carbon certification at scale and across borders. Our product suite was designed to support you whatever the maturity stage of your projects, be it pre-FID or operational phase. Let's have a look. For your pre-FID projects, our compliance check allows you to simulate the certifiable green hydrogen output of your plant, screen for compliance, and earn trust of partners, off-takers, banks. The goal is to accelerate and prove certification readiness in hours, not months. This is brought to you in collaboration with TÜV Nord. For your operational projects, digital product passports are issued for each batch of produced hydrogen or e-fuels. These DPPs carry and validate the sustainability attributes of each batch all along the value chain, cradle to grave. And DPPs are distributed to your off-takers at the same time as you deliver the molecules. Finally, our certificate portfolio management app enables you to reduce complexity around all tasks related to either electricity guarantees of origin or hydrogen proofs of sustainability. This is about enabling your organization to issue the right certificate at the right point of time to the right recipient. It's a little bit like a virtual coordinator for all tasks related to certification, which is very much of a scattered topic across the organization, the hot potato topic, as we call it. In short, this is all about saving time, earning trust, unlocking green premiums, and managing risks efficiently. Who are we to support you on this journey? We are tech people from the energy industry. We combine uniquely two things: regulatory expertise and technology excellence. We're based in Munich, 3 French founders. This is the beauty of Europe. Certification and compliance aren't just hygiene factors. It's not just a set of checkboxes. These are business-critical topics that you need to embed in the DNA of your organization and in your operations from day one. So let's do like our first 10 customers, 2 of which are in the room, in the EU, but also soon in the US. Let's work on making certification a breeze. Book a demo. Let's get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Flore. And this is Europe Indeed, a Munich-based French startup, or French founders with a German startup in Munich, as you like. One question, by the way, for this pitching session, there's no possibility to ask questions via the app. If you have some questions to the startups, come out to the booth in the next break. We'll be there and answer your question. But I have one question, Flore. You mentioned TÜV. It was my impression that you're stepping into a very traditional, very experienced circle of certifiers. What is your advantage against or together with TÜV?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we're not against, it's with. Let me make our positioning crystal clear. There are 3 stakeholders in the certification game. The one producing molecules, the producer, the certification scheme, Certify, ISCC, and the third-party auditor. We, Atmen, do not replace any of these. We work together with the producer by bringing the enabling technology layer to get all the right operational data in a way that we can streamline and automate certification. In fact, in the next few weeks, we will announce with the proper press release our collaboration with TÜV Nord. We are neutral in collaborating, but they were faster, so we're partnering with them. They build the brand. They bring the brands, and we bring the technology, and it's actually a match, very strong match. So we're not disrupting to the extent that we're taking their space. We're just making their operations way more scalable, and actually they very much welcome that we come in with this technology.
Very good. So you're a perfect example of collaboration between corporates, established institutions and startups, and skyrocketing in that respect. Thank you very much, Flore.
Thank you.
The next startup is 1S1 Energy from Lisbon in Portugal, and this time it's really a Portuguese startup. They are also already part of the H2 Hub and participated in the sprint. They were founded in 2019 and have a singular mission to develop economically viable and scalable solutions that drastically reduce carbon emissions within this decade. Their cutting-edge technology revolves around next-generation electrolyzers. And please welcome Thiago on stage with me, who will tell you more about their essential technologies.
So, hello, good afternoon. My name is Thiago Figueiredo. I'm one of the co-founders of 1S1, also its chief business officer. We are developing next generation of proton exchange membrane technology. So I know some of you will already be a bit skeptical about what I'm saying. So, I mean, I'm sure here at this audience, everybody is very aware that electrolyzers are unreliable, rather expensive. They do not last very long and also use way too much electricity. And I'm probably not the first startup that comes with these KPIs and say this can be done and within a reasonable time frame. These are ours, by the way. This is the module that we're working on. But bear with me. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll get there. I'll explain. So what we're doing here, 1S1, is we're developing a new proton exchange membrane technology, changing its rules. Essentially, if you want to remember one thing about us, is we managed to replace the PE on PM. So we are working with novel proton exchange groups that have allowed us to completely rethink the electrochemical cell based upon a materials platform around the element boron. So we're working on all the components that go into these electrochemical cells, completely changing how it behaves internally, but it's still a proton exchange membrane electrolyzer. So, I mean, when you want an electrolyzer, you know, what you want to see essentially is that least amount of electricity used, but also you want to do it at the highest possible throughput, again, so that way your system is smaller, right? We already meet the goals for Europe in 2030 with the testing that we've done at National Renewables Energy Lab in the US. And our projections suggest we can go much lower than that with second generation of our technology that will be moving to high temperature PM with non-PFAS materials. So if you look at the landscape today, you're probably very aware, you have PM, great, delivers high throughput, but also uses way too much electricity and has durability issues. On the other, sometimes rather exciting news, people tell you that they use way less electricity, but they don't really tell you what's the current density, meaning your system is going to be massive. So we believe that working on both is the trick to producing green hydrogen cheaply. So in our path to go to market, what we ended up empirically finding out is that customers are willing to pilot our technology from early on. So we have a working scheme with Enel Green Power. This is our first stack. It's a 300 centimeter square area. And this is a 2 kilowatt. This has actually been tested in Italy, allowed together with Enel. And we have a testing scheme with 2 utilities and a steel company that will go from a 6 kilowatt stack all the way to 100. And the 100 is the basis for the final product, which is a modularized solution of 1 megawatt that you can put together into any size of operation. So as I said, we're developing vertically integrated electrolyzers, meaning that some of the components that we're working for electrolysis, they actually do work on other applications, especially fuel cells. This was pointed out by a customer of ours. So we're working on licensing or selling components in this field as well as part of our strategy to go to market. This is us. So I'm on the left here, second-time entrepreneur, building solar business. My 2 co-founders then, and Sukanta, CEO and CTO, that have been working together for the last 15 years, kind of finish each other's sentences, you know, have been able to license technology, transfer technology, have many patents under their name. So when we founded the company, we were actually very agnostic about the technology. We just brought together some interesting entrepreneurial and also academic experience to trying to make sure that we can produce green hydrogen as cheaply as possible. So maybe some of you are aware of that. We are one of the companies at the high-to-tech IPCEI wave with a project in Portugal to deliver capacity of 300 megawatts. And again, thank you for the opportunity of being here, H2 Hub and everybody. I'm happy to connect, tell you more about how we can work together, both on piloting technology, also in the component side. You know, we're hiring as well in our facility in Portugal, so happy to talk to any electrochemists in the room that would be interested to work with us. Very specific. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Thiago. Yeah, and because you are very good in time, maybe one question from my side. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you work with your corporate partners? You mentioned corporate partners in electrolyzers, in fuel cell. How does this work with them?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, on the electrolyzer side, what we've seen some particular cases that obviously the companies that want to use those electrolyzers, they want to come in early, see how they work, understand actually, and we see even the need to some extent have these electrolyzers tailor-made, so that way you avoid failures in the future. So they're willing to come with us with paid pilots and work together throughout the development, so building up capacity, right? Starting at 6, then 24, and then as we develop, and then also at the same time, they want to make sure that once they are ready, they are the ones who have first dibs. So that will be on the electrolysis side. On the fuel cell side and the components, we're working for both chemical companies that might want to license our technology. So the path is rather simple. We send, let's say, our ionomers or catalyst layers to these companies. They test them. You know, normally, up until now, the results have been very encouraging, quite good. So they want to come back and keep asking for more. And the idea is essentially potentially licensing. On the MEA manufacturers, similar process, but with the goal of us developing manufacturing capacity, which is something that we're looking to start at the end of the year with the generation 1 of ionomers, which is still a PFAS material paired with our proton exchange groups. And then we're working on the second generation, which is a non-PFAS, operates at high temperatures, and this is something that we are at testing stage at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much for your explanation, and thank you, Thiago.
Thank you.
The next startup is from deep Germany, from Gelsenkirchen, and it's called Hydrogenea. And Hydrogenea is on their quest to rewrite the rules of hydrogen production. They develop next-generation electrolyzers and fuel cells that redefine efficiency and longevity, as well as reducing precious metal use, which is quite important. Their innovative catalysts support the components' lifetimes by up to 10 times as their competitors. So meet Yannick on stage, who will give us or share with us his vision and passion for the development of this essential technology. The stage is yours.
Thanks for the nice introduction, Uwe. Hi, I am Pitt, CEO and one of the 2 co-founders of Hydrogenea. At Hydrogenea, we manufacture membrane electrode assemblies, and we make MEAs durable. In the current energy transition, we face several challenges, and one I want to point out today is the lifetime. Fortunately, we have lots of green energy, but we need a way to store it. This is possible with electrolyzers, but when it comes to lifetime, I want to point out on the left side of the slide, there is a wind turbine connected to an electrolyzer, and the wind turbine is already known to last up to 30 years, but a PEM electrolyzer is only estimated to last for 10 years. On the right side of the slide, we see a scenario for fuel cells, and many people of you might have already noticed there are already some fuel cell cars in the street, so you can just drive them, and it was already proven that the 8,000 hours are possible for a fuel cell system. But a better use case for a fuel cell is the transportation sector, the column next to it, here indicated as a truck. And here we easily need 40,000 hours of operation. So in both scenarios, we need further development. And here, the durability is the bottleneck. At Hydrogenea, we have developed the following solution. We prepare MEAs with a 10 times higher lifetime. In the application of an electrolyzer, this would mean an operation of 100 years become possible. Also, we have a higher efficiency, which means in a scenario of a 30 megawatt electrolyzer, one can save 1 million euro of OpEx annually. Also, we have an innovative production process, which makes the scaling easily. I was just speaking about some benefits while using our technology in electrolyzers, but on the right side, you see a lot of fuel cell applications where we also generate a lot of advantages and benefits for our customers as well. So now the question is, how do we do this? We have an innovation in both material and the process. And the journey for this already started more than 10 years ago. We put novel material into the catalyst layer, and also we have an innovative production process which works entirely continuously, and we got a patent on this. So both these innovations help us to generate the best and most durable MEAs. With this process, with these two innovations, we first prepare electrodes, and then we prepare membrane electrode assemblies and sell them to stack manufacturers. And a pretty big announcement is that in 2 months, we are getting our production plant installed in the western part of Germany, which is in Gelsenkirchen. So from our technology, our direct customers profit, but also their customers. So the entire supply chain benefit from our technology. And what we did is starting an exist grant last year in May. With this money, we could start already building the core team. And also we started to prototype testing with our customers. And this January, the company was founded. And 3 weeks later, we got our first customer with a 5-digit order. What we want to do now is to close our seed round. And we want to use this money to further expand the team and also to scale our paying customers. You can see here the supply chain. We are preparing catalyst layers and the membrane electrode assemblies, and our direct customer benefit from it, but also their customers, which mean that the entire supply chain benefit from our technology. So in case you are interested in our innovative MEAs and want to learn more about how we make the MEAs durable, please come to our booth, which is the shared booth with the H2 Hub. It's booth number 11. My colleague Marlene and I are going to be there today and tomorrow, and we are very happy to have a chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much, and perfectly in time. But let me add one question. You're a very early stage startup, founded just a couple of weeks ago,
right.
Working on the stuff, of course, a little bit longer. What do you do? What can you do? What established partners can't?
So what we do differently than the conventional approach is we have 2 innovations, basically. We have a material, which nobody uses. So we have a material innovation. And also, we have developed a totally new production process. And what we did already in the last more than 10 years was combining these 2 steps and making the most of this synergy. So we have a huge technological advantage regarding these 2 innovations. And with the patent and also more to come, also some business secrets, we already made sure that we are the only ones who can do that. So it's really a totally different approach. So this is what I meant. The time is not enough to explain it in detail, but I'm very happy to have you all come over to the booth and to further discuss it.
Okay, we'll have a space problem at the booth, but do come to the booth. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So let's move to the south of Europe again and move to Bilbao. Next on stage is H2Site. H2Site develops a membrane reactor which seamlessly combines hydrogen generation and separation. It extracts fuel cell purity hydrogen from feedstocks like ammonia and methanol cracking, and it addresses a critical challenge in industry thereby. Breakthrough Energy Ventures, Equinor, and Engie New Ventures are just some of the names already invested in H2Site. And now give a huge round of applause for Guillermo, who will tell us more about it.
Thank you for the introduction. So we are H2Site, and what we are doing is enabling the hydrogen transport. No? So we're going to need a lot of hydrogen in here. No? So well, everything, all the hydrogen that we have is gray. It needs to be replaced with green hydrogen, and we need to bring even more. So the European Union, almost a year ago, already said that we need, we're not going to be able to produce everything in here. No? So we need to start thinking farther ahead and see where else we can make this hydrogen. The problem with that is that, if you produce it in here, you need to bring it up, no? And we are here to make that happen, no? So we have this solution that can work. So my name is Guillermo. I'm the head of product, leading the strategy and the product development of the company, together with this team and the partners that Uwe already mentioned. And these are our funders, no? So this is a really good balance in between really experts in startups, deep tech companies, and also the inventors of the company, of the product that we're making today. No? So this technology was made up by two technologies, and these technologies were bringing together by these two people. So what is the problem? The problem is that we need to bring all that hydrogen. No? So how do we make it? You can make it by compressing the gas, but then you need to compress it, and you cannot put that much into a boat. Or you can make it liquid, and then you have to put it at minus 253 degrees, which is a challenge itself. Or you can start thinking about other things, no? Other ways, and these are the energy carriers. No? The industry, some companies, some projects we see in the news tell us that ammonia might be one of those products that can be carrying the hydrogen. And ammonia is well known. No? So you have produced ammonia for 100 years. You have put it in a boat. You have bring it to the facilities where you make something with ammonia, and that something can be using ammonia, no, ACs, etc., but also making fertilizers with it. No? The problem is that right now we need to bring it back to hydrogen. So what is this technology that can allow hydrogen to be hydrogen again? No? The current state of the art gives you a reactor, and that reactor will break the molecule into nitrogen and hydrogen. No? And then you will have a PSA or a separation or something that will extract that hydrogen from that blend. Well, you obviously have some problems in terms of what is the temperature that you need to reach in the reactor, and also how much hydrogen do you lose when you separate it. These are common things, and what we've done is mix it together. We have developed this membrane that extracts high-purity hydrogen from any feedstock, and we have integrated in a reactor that makes it work to the best of the conditions. But also the benefit of having it in a reactor is that if you put a catalyst inside it, you will start extracting hydrogen from it directly. So you will work at that lower temperature, and you will have already high-purity hydrogen. So you eliminate one phase, and you eliminate half of the temperature that you need to reach. So how do we make it? We have made these membranes. We can sell these membranes, and we are partnered with other companies in order to scale up. No? While the membranes are already being produced, we have done a few projects in this, more than 10. We are also looking for partners to help us scaling up in this technology. And where can we play? What is the opportunity for all of us? Well, it is the gas infrastructure management. So how do you separate hydrogen from other streams? How do you bring that ammonia into Europe and other regions that are going to be net off takers, and crack it and put it into a network, but also distribution that ammonia and put it in as a storage for hydrogen, and then crack it again, put to hydrogen, but also the merit order. No? Don't forget, if the ammonia is coming to the ports, you already have a logistics in place for the ammonia, and this is low carbon ammonia that can decarbonize 2.5% of the global emissions. No? So there is another part of the... And the last one, this was unknown almost a year ago, and this is the natural hydrogen. No? So there is an option. There is hydrogen in the crust of the globe. No? So that hydrogen can be extracted, and that extracted hydrogen needs separation. No? So actually, if you think about it, this sole opportunity can be one of the industries that will speed up the whole hydrogen economy. No? Having more hydrogen produced quicker and also a really small footprint. What we're doing, we have the factory, as I was saying before. We can produce thousands of membranes. We can do what we need. We can make the kits together. We can put everything in a kit that is usable for everyone. And we have already done a few projects that are really interesting, like a hydrogen refueling station where you store ammonia, you put it into hydrogen and a fuel cell, or even that same setup for a boat, no? When you will have it storage in a boat, and you will have the hydrogen coming in a fuel cell to feed actually that boat. This is it. So we are haste to site, and we expect to bring all that hydrogen in order to eliminate 5 gigatons of CO2 green hydrogen emissions by 2030.
Okay, thank you so much. Guillermo, you mentioned several use cases, and maybe in the audience you have companies interested in cracking ammonia and getting pure hydrogen from it. When you look at these kind of use cases and choices, what is your choice? Is it big industry, large scale, SME? What kind of project are you looking for?
So at the moment, we're looking to scale up. No? So we know that we are fighting against companies that have been doing this for a really long time, especially in ammonia. But we bring something that is completely new. No? So we want to bring that new thing into our roadmap in order to be able to produce kits that will import those large amounts of hydrogens into the ports, etc. No? So if we can produce something that is in the scales of 2 tons a day, 20 tons a day, 200 tons a day, we will be able to be one of the key players for the ammonia imports.
Okay, that's big. Thank you so much. And everybody's interested, as has been said before, just join us at the booth. So, thank you. Now let's take a trip to Berlin. We have a startup from Berlin today. It's Stoff 2. They are a pioneering startup at the forefront of sustainable energy solutions by focusing on green hydrogen production through cutting-edge electrolysis. Their innovation hub combines hydrogen generation with energy storage, revolutionizing grid servicing renewable energies too. And Christian will give us a more deeper insight of what they are doing. Welcome him.
Yes, hello everyone. This works. Yeah, as I just learned, all startups are somehow revolutionizing the sector, and of course we are doing that as well. My name is Christian Friebe. I'm with Stoff 2 now for 3 months, and it changed me already a lot. Before I've been in the traditional energy sector, and now I'm working here, and I want to share a few ideas what we are working on. So our special device is something that connects to universes that are not connected yet. So on the one side we have the conventional batteries, electricity in, electricity out. On the other side we have the conventional electrolyzers, electricity in, hydrogen out. And our device is the Zink-Zwischenschritt-Elektrolyseur. It's a very German name. It doesn't work in English. It was invented by engineers, as you could probably guess. And we will very soon come up with a very nice and fancy product name. And it basically connects the storage function and the hydrogen generation function in one device. So we are not combining a battery and an electrolyzer in a container. We are building something new that combines these two universes. How does it run in practice? So our system will charge when electricity is cheap, when electricity is curtailed, and we charge, for example, for 4 hours during the day when the photovoltaic plant is up and running and it's curtailed, or when the energy prices are so low because there are a lot of renewable energies out there. Then the energy is stored in the device as solid zinc. It's a Zwischenschritt, the intermediate step. And then whenever you want, you can discharge the system. And when you discharge it, we generate hydrogen. And hydrogen is a core product. So the efficiency from electricity in to hydrogen out is 70%. And then we have, of course, waste heat. If you want to use it, you can use it. And we generate a little bit of electricity as well that you can use in your plant or also deliver to the grid. And that's one container, and it gets really nice if you get 2 or more of them, because then you can generate hydrogen 24/7. So you charge one container during the day with photovoltaic, and you charge the other container with wind energy during the night, and you have a continuous production of hydrogen, or you generate hydrogen as required. How does the chemistry look? So we have a charging phase where electricity is feed into the system. We generate oxygen during that phase, and then we have a solid zinc at the cathode. We have a storage phase that is typically storage over several minutes, several hours, typically 1 or 2 days maximum, but it can be stored also longer if that's required. And then there is a discharging phase where the hydrogen is generated. And on top of that, we kicked out a lot of materials that are not so useful for everyone involved. So we have 0 PFAS, we have no rare earth metals, and that makes our system a lot nicer for the environment. How does the future look like? So if you come to our office in Tegel, you can see this very fancy prototype that is up and running. It is 6 meters by 3 meters by 5 meters, and it's producing bubbles, either oxygen or hydrogen. It works very nice, and that's up and running now. And if it's fully charged, you can get 250 kilowatt hours of hydrogen out of it. And the next step will be that we quadruple the size, and then it looks like a 20-feet container with another 20-feet container for balance of stack. And we set up a small-scale manufacturing site in Tegel, and then we will go for first of its kinds projects that will start in 2025, 2026. And we will quickly scale up with large industrial partners. You have already seen HH2E today on stage. They are, of course, a partner, but also many other project developers and energy companies are very interested in what we are offering here. And also to link to Tillmannsmann at this stage. This wouldn't be possible without public funding, and we received public funding during the startup phase, and that was very, very helpful. It's a pain to get it, but once you have it, it makes life a lot easier, and it helps a lot to scale up to this stage and also to further scale things up. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you're interested in this fancy container, say hello, and we see how we can make it happen.
Okay. Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you so much. Very short question, very short answer. What would be the typical use case for this?
So from our side, the best application would be an area where there is a lot of renewable electricity available, where there's renewable electricity curtailed, and then there should be an industrial customer with stable hydrogen demand or a gas grid with stable hydrogen demand. And if you can bring these two things together, we are the right solution.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good luck. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, there's a last startup on stage now. It's Turn2X from Munich. Their mission is to displace fossil fuels with modular renewable natural gas plants, and they are building an advanced reactor to efficiently convert CO2 and H2 into methane. They are also part of H2 Hub's batch number 3 and raised 4.3 million euro over seed round. And I would like to invite Dominik on stage to tell us more about the company.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, welcome. My name is Dominik. I'm the CTO of Turn2X, and we have a practical approach to lower emissions and to decarbonize the hard-to-abate sectors. Last year, end of last year, we went to the COP in Dubai. We met there as part of the European Resilience Leadership Group with industry leaders and policy makers to discuss the energy transition of Europe. The goal is clear, and we have learned a lot in the past time. So, years ago, the energy supply was clear. Security of supply was not a question at all. We get cheap fossil energy, and we were building a large infrastructure. But times are changing, and we have learned a lot, and not just the climate change is pushing us forward. So nowadays, there is some infrastructure, pipelines from the east, which are broken, no longer in operation. Diversification of energy supply is very important. And yes, but what have gained from these times? I think it's the most valuable asset for energy, transport, and storage in Europe. It's the national gas grid. And we have 200,000 kilometers of transport pipelines, 2 million kilometers of distribution grid. We have spent hundreds of billions investment in this infrastructure, and it's not just the amount of pipelines, it's the whole infrastructure, it's the energy supply of cities, the energy supply of large industrial centers. And when we're talking about energy transition, it's clear we're talking about electrification, and we're talking about hydrogen. That's not a question at all. That's the right approach. But we have to take in mind the dimension of this challenge, the transfer, how many energy is needed in Europe, what we have to bring to industry centers, to cities. And if we compare it with the existing natural gas pipelines, for example, from Norway to Germany, we can transport round about 450 terawatt hours to Germany. If we have a look what's planned with the hydrogen pipelines, there we can bring about 40 terawatt hours to Germany, so 10% around about the capacity what's installed in the natural gas grid. And we have to bring a lot of effort to build this pipeline. It takes a long time. And so what's the message here? We need all solutions to bring green molecules to Europe, to transport, to store it. And we as Turn2X, we make our contribution as RNG. RNG, we take water and air and produce methane out of it, more or less. So renewable electricity and water combined in an electrolyzer, producing hydrogen, taking biogenic CO2. We have a patented reactor technology to produce the methane, and the methane can be transported to our customers via the existing natural gas grid as a green molecule. It's not just PowerPoint. We have also already a plant. Pilot plant is up and running, was injecting into the natural gas grid in Germany, is now moved to Spain and will be back in production mid of this year. If we have a look to our customers, energy-intensive industry is responsible for 25% of global emissions, spending 65 billion euros per year for natural gas. So our customers, Northern Kampa, Simplecam, will take the offtake of our RNG from the first plant. If we have a look at the utilities, 35% of global emissions, spending 42 billion euros yearly for natural gas. And also we have customers, for example, E360 from Zurich. They will take also a lot of RNG to get green molecules in their gas grid to their customers. Last but not least, we have also the maritime sectors, 3% of global emissions. They're spending 3 billion euros per year also for natural gas. Maybe in the future a little bit more, and if they go to LNG-powered or RNG-powered vessels. So there we have some prospects, Habak and CMA. Let's have a look at the team. In addition to myself, there's also Philip Kessler, experienced in founding companies, deep tech companies, so he knows how to grow. Benedikt Stolz, he built his own venture capital fund during college and went to the project finance part. So we have a lot of experience in that way, how to finance infrastructure projects and a strong advisory board in the background. We will build the largest RNG plant in the world by 2025. So actually we are in the permitting process for Spain and in the engineering phase so that our plant will go live in the beginning of the next year. And the first electrolyzer plant in Extremadura is also actually in installation phase. I was telling you we were moving this plant from Germany to Spain, and there is it. So the first electrolyzer in Extremadura, which will be in commercial operation at all. So what's the one thing which would speed us up? Experience in construction, plants, equipment manufacturing, and standardization. So if you're able to produce standardized modules in high numbers, then let's stay in contact, let's talk, and save 12 million kilograms of CO2 per year together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dominik. We heard a lot about the importance and necessity of building infrastructure. So is Turn2X the solution to this infrastructure crisis?
It could be a part of it. We are a part of the solution. So we're talking a lot of these FID dilemmas today so that you get FID on the project. And in our case, we have the infrastructure and we get the financing for the project. And then we can show the whole process and don't rely on the infrastructure change. We don't have to wait until a hydrogen grid network is up and running. So we can show it today.
Great. And these things are already happening. Thank you so much, Dominik.